Hello and welcome everyone. In this video I want to show you how you can make a tape stop effect with my self-made free plugin NEL. And in order to do that I will show you how I did it in this sequence of a song that I'm currently producing with my son. Alright. The concept of the music, by the way, is that I want to make children's music that is also sounding modern and not like, Baby Shark and all this stuff. But like something that is more along the lines of hyper pop or, some other stuff that is actually cool. And I think it actually works, by the way, because my son and me, we have danced to this track today already, especially to this part with the haze. So yeah, that seems to work out pretty good. One doesn't have to make crappy music in order to make children's music, apparently. Now let's get on. If you have listened closely, then you have noticed that I was talking about this background vocal line. Okay, so now how did this work? On this background vocal line, I have instantiated my plugin NEL, and I can just make a fresh copy of that to show you how that worked. I selected the macro modulator as one of the modulators, and I didn't use the other modulator. You can mix between them. And then let's just turn this one off and only check what the macro does. So the macro is just moving towards one direction, and that's all there is to it. And in the automation, it looks like this. And then there is also a modulation on the gain knob that you probably didn't notice first. And yeah, the gain also just goes out. And I actually did the same at the beginning of the part, but only the macro without the gain stuff. So we got sort of the opposite direction. It's kind of pitching in, and we have the opposite of a tape stop, more like a tape start there. And that has a cool effect together with the other sounds, because that makes this sound actually come a little bit earlier than the rest of the sounds. And you might ask, why does it come earlier? Just because there is some parameter that does its delay thing here, because this is essentially controlling the delay directly, instead of, using some more sophisticated thing as a modulation source like an LFO. And the reason for that is, well, first of all, you can set the buffer size of the delay in the options menu, and I've used a fairly high size here, like 800 milliseconds. That's way too much for a traditional vibrato. I can show you that. But it's actually just right for such tape stop effects, because they need some time to really roll in or come out. And the second thing to consider is that look ahead has to be turned on, so that the middle of the macro modulator always represents like the present point of the sample, so that you can have it like compensated, that everything that is before comes earlier and everything that is after it comes later. Or was it the other way around? I'm actually not quite sure anymore, but that shouldn't be like the main issue here. because you can always fiddle around and then you find the actual direction that works. Also, in this particular example, I found that oversampling the signal sounds better, actually. I don't know why. That's also something that you always have to consider when using this plugin, that sometimes oversampling actually makes sense. And yeah, that's actually how you can make a nice little tape stop with this vibrato. So you don't need a tape stop plugin anymore when you have this. And if you are speaking German, then you will know that my son was saying, mach das nochmal an, which means so much like, please play that back again. But I will not, the video stops here.